I feel like I'm going to be put on a watch list. So there I am, minding my own business, browsing through Amazon, and then I decided, hey, I wonder if they have any cool Genshin Impact stuff. And then I thought to myself after that, hey, what if they have any cool Nahida stuff? Because I like Nahida. She's really cute and sweet and I like her character. So I search in Amazon UK Nahida Genshin Impact and boom, first page, Nahida body pillow sans the clothing. And now I feel dirty, I feel a deep need to go and repent, go to a nunnery and spend the rest of my life not looking at any other human being and eating only porridge. For anyone wondering what in the fresh weeb hell nonsense is going on, let me explain. Dakimukara is a type of large pillow similar to Western orthopedic pillows commonly used as a comfort item. Between the late 90s to 2000s, it became popular to blend Dakimukara with otaku culture, those with interest in anime, manga, and video games. This led to the introduction of Dakimukara having prints on them with characters who were considered cute or beautiful from popular anime, manga, or video games. Nowadays, you might even see some Dakimukara having sexual connotations, with characters having their clothes pulled up in a suggestive way or being posed in provocative positions. Sometimes the pictures of these characters might not even have clothing on them, like the body pillow I saw. So that's body pillows, and let's go on to the second part, Nahida from Genshin Impact. Here's a picture. As you can see, Nahida is physically a small child, and the body pillow was definitely one with sexual connotations, without the clothes and the positioning. I won't show you any pictures because I feel like that's distribution, which is a crime. Speaking of crime, the art genre that print was in is known as lolly, and if you've been on the internet for any period of time, you probably know what lolly or lolicon is. If by some miracle you remain pure, innocent, and untainted to this, I implore you, please turn back. And if you are those things and don't care, then you've been warned. Lolicon or lolly is a genre of media that revolves around prepubescent children, typically girls, in erotic or suggestive situations. Not to be confused with Lolita fashion, because that is completely separate. Please, for the love of God, leave Lolitas alone. They just like cute dresses. They have done nothing wrong. There's been a debate, sadly, within the art community, with some people saying that lolly is fine and it doesn't matter because it isn't a picture of a real child. But on a good note, it is illegal within the United Kingdom and definitely does matter. The Coroners and Justice Act 2009 criminalised non-photographic indecent images of children, or lolly. I really don't like using laws as a justification for why something is good or not, because laws can be so faulty, but by God did the UK government do well on this one. Everything else is failing, the nurses are on strike, the postal service is on strike, and we are suffering through an energy crisis, but damn, that was a based law. So what does this all culminate in? Basically, Amazon.co.uk are selling illegal products. They're selling CP. It's CP on a pillow. The image itself, advertising the product, was censored, and I didn't buy the product to confirm whether or not it's censored in person. Number one, I don't want to physically own a Lolicon pillow because that's disgusting. Number two, I don't want to support the brand that produced this Lolicon pillow. Number three, I don't want to own a Lolicon pillow. And number four, it was $29.99? What a freaking ripoff. However, whether or not the physical product had the blur over it in person really doesn't matter. I highly doubt that a court would look at that and say, oh, you blurred it out. Wonderful. That passes. No, it's still a lewd image of a child, whether you blurred it or not. It blows my mind that Amazon.co.uk allowed this product on their site. I decided to go over to the Chinese version of Amazon to see if maybe it was there as well, considering Genshin Impact is a Chinese video game. Oh look, It's not there. Yes, I know there's a lot of censorship and issues when it comes to China, but by God, the one time where we could actually use moderation on something. And what makes me mad is that there isn't an option on Amazon to report an item or a listing or a seller. If you want to talk to an actual human being, it is pretty much impossible. I tried to report this listing by going to get help, and then it just asked me which one of my own orders I wanted help with. So then I had to click the something else option because it's nothing to do with anything I've ordered, it's something else, something that you have listed on your site. In response, it recommended me a bunch of help articles, none of which were relevant. In the end, I had to tweet publicly directly at Amazon Help. A representative replied asking for links to the listing, so I had to tweet out links to that listing. I know I've said this before in this video, but it just simply astounds me how terrible Amazon are at vetting third-party sellers, and how easy it was for me to find a product like this on amazon.co.uk without me even looking for that specifically. It was literally on the first page of results, and on top of all of that, there is no proper way for people to report listings like this. You have to reach out to Amazon directly. Why isn't there a feature where we can report listings? Because evidently your vetting isn't working. Sadly, Amazon isn't the only platform with this problem, and nor is Genshin Impact the only fandom with this problem. While certain countries such as the United Kingdom and China, in this case ironically enough, Genshin Impact being a Chinese video game, have completely criminalized fictional CP or Lolicon, other countries such as Hong Kong and Japan have left it legal. If you haven't already garnered my thoughts based on the statements I've made in this video, yes, I think that Lolicon is abhorrent and should be criminalized. Many people say it's just fantasy. Well, you see, that's how CSA begins. It's just a fantasy. In many different cases, consuming a certain type of media doesn't mean that you're going to go out and replicate the things that you see in that media. For example, playing GTA doesn't mean you're going to go out and start shooting people and stealing cars, nor is watching Game of Thrones going to make you more likely to want to be in a relationship with your brother. However, there is something to be said about people who feel comfortable and enjoy creating content that sexualizes the child form, and also people who consume that content. It's for a very specific reason. There are many different reasons why somebody might enjoy playing GTA or watching Game of Thrones. There are many different reasons why somebody might be interested in the thriller or fantasy or horror genre. There is a very specific reason why somebody would enjoy lolly. There's no other way around it. You aren't living out this fantasy world where you're the hero and you can take out a load of zombies, or perhaps you are the knight that can save the princess. No, there is only one fantasy when it comes to lolly. Whether it's a real child or a fictional child, a child is still being sexualized. The form of a child is still being sexualized, and that is the problem. And it's such a big problem. A lot of people always think of really creepy things when they think of weebs, and I think it's such a bad stigma when it comes to those who enjoy anime or manga. The reason why so many weird things happen is, one, Japan, have you seen their horror movies? It's a bit out there. But two, because you can draw almost anything and animate almost anything. That's why there's so many different and wacky things that happen in anime and manga. When it comes to live action productions, you would have to have a really good budget to have most of the things that happen in anime and manga to be a thing. Imagine Attack on Titan wasn't a manga and an anime and they just decided to do this fully live action right from the get-go. The budget that they would need to have the initial scene of the colossal titan breaking through the wall and make it look good would be massive. That's why 60% of animated shows nowadays are anime. But the downside to it is the lax laws Japan has when it comes to lolly. They don't have any laws, it's completely legal. And so it's granted this massive stigma against people who are into anime and manga because they're grouped in with these sickos. With the freedom that the anime and manga mediums give us to express things and be able to see things we wouldn't be able to see in a live action setting, comes the downside of the laws where we get to see things that wouldn't be in a live action setting. And that is why Lolicon is most commonly seen in the anime and manga style. But of course, we can't group all anime into this. As I've said before, anime is all cartoons. Within Japan, anything that is animated is considered anime. In Japan, The Simpsons would be anime. Anime is simply the word that the West has for Japanese cartoons. It's very similar with the Chinese donghua. Donghua is all animated productions coming from China, but in China, all animated productions just are donghua. With this freedom of the media and the lax laws Japan has, it's also had racist connotations. When you think of Japan and anime, some people will go straight to the dark side. While CP and CSA definitely aren't a part of Japanese culture intrinsically, some people will use this existence of lolly to justify a bigotry towards Japanese people. And it's hard to deny, anime is a part of Japanese culture. When you see somebody who enjoys anime, they're indulging in Japanese culture. And when you equate anime to being a creepy sicko, you can see the negative connotations there. I won't ramble on for any longer. I was just so pressed. I cannot believe I was just sat enjoying myself and then that pops up in the UK, in my country. And I know it's a third-party seller, but Amazon, get a grip. I hope this video was interesting, I guess. I wouldn't say I hope you enjoyed it, because Jesus, but thanks everybody for coming, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.